It's that time once again. Ooh-wee! Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. John Wick's nickname, Baba Yaga, doesn't make any sense, as Baba Yaga is an old woman living in the woods that kidnaps and kills youngins. Baba Yaga is not a boogeyman. The correct nickname would be Babeka, a creature of the night that haunts streets and lingers around houses. Henry V, while still prince, was hit by an arrow near his left nostril during the Battle of Shrewsbury. The arrow shaft broke, leaving the arrow point buried 6 inches deep in his head. Court surgeon John Bradmore devised a special tool to help extract the arrow point and save the prince's life. Your metabolism doesn't really slow until around the age of 60. Leslie Nielsen carried a fart machine everywhere, including restaurants, on talk shows as a guest, press interviews, and even the movie sets his entire movie career. It predates his first comedic role in Airplane. Binturongs, aka bearcats, exist. They smell like popcorn and have ankles that can rotate 180 degrees. Lucifer originally referred to a personified aspect of the planet Venus, and only acquired its current religious connotation when the Hebrew book of Isaiah equated the king of Babylon with said Venusian aspect. In the 1990s, a man gained an edge on a Spanish casino by recording roulette wheel results and analyzing them with a computer. He was able to predict certain numbers were more likely to hit next. After he won £660,000, a legal case against him was unsuccessful. It ruled the casino should fix its wheel. A SIG alert was developed in 1955 because the LAPD refused to notify radio stations of traffic disruptions. This required stations to call in, thus tying up the phone lines and requiring officers to constantly repeat the same information. Despite being a NATO member, Iceland has not had a standing army since 1869. They have had a defense agreement with the United States since 1951, though the US has not had soldiers stationed there since 2006, and they have defense agreements with other NATO countries. Since 1967, every temporary transfer of power from a US president to the vice president under the 25th Amendment was due to the president's colon treatment. Some cities are using blue light bulbs in public restrooms and park lighting because the glow supposedly masks the blue tinted lines of veins, making it harder for intravenous drug users to find a vein. There are 7,000 feral black and white cats on the Antarctic Kerguelen Islands. 1/3 specialize in hunting seabirds, reaching 5 kilograms or 11 pounds in body mass with strengthened skulls and jaws. They shelter in small rocky caves littered with skeletons of their prey. The Midway Atoll used to have a naval base with 5,000 residents, but is now a nearly abandoned wildlife refuge. In 2007, the Parliament of the Balearic Islands, an autonomous community of Spain, passed the world's first legislation that would effectively grant legal personhood rights to all great apes. Shell Cordovian is a rare leather that isn't made from animal skin, but connective tissue from a horse's buttocks. Shoes made from them are waterproof, don't crease, don't require polishing, and can last indefinitely. Only 2 major tanneries make them. There have been allegations of doping in the Tour de France since its race began in 1903. Early tour riders consumed alcohol and used ether, among other substances, as a means of enduring the pain of competing in endurance cycling. New York restaurants that opened between 2000 and 2014 and earned a Michelin star were more likely to close than those that didn't earn one. By the end of 2019, 40% of restaurants awarded Michelin stars had closed. James Cameron directed both the first movie to have the budget of at least $100 million, True Lies of 1994, and the first to have a budget of at least $200 million, Titanic in 1997. Project Iceworm was a top-secret 1958 $2.7 billion US plan to convert part of the Arctic into launch pads for nuclear missiles, including a nuclear reactor. However, due to shifting Greenland ice sheets, the plan was scrapped in 1967 and the massive underground structure therefore collapsed. Nico Bellic was only 30 years old in GTA 4. Julian Lennon, son of John Lennon, was originally named John Charles Julian Lennon, but legally changed his name in 2020 to Julian Charles John Lennon. Citizens of Yemen spend an estimated 14.6 million man-hours per day chewing khat, a plant that causes stimulation and mild euphoria. Cathode ray tubes, the technology behind old TVs and monitors, were in fact particle accelerators that beamed electrons into screens to generate light and then images. Japan's proof of parking rule is a regulation requiring car owners to provide proof of a designated parking space before registering or purchasing a car. Ladybugs can get an STD called the Labulbania licis fungus. Ladybugs be getting freaky. Evolution isn't always slow and continuous. Sometimes it happens in rapid bursts. This is known as punctuated equilibrium, which explains why fossils often lack smooth transitions. The Permian-Triassic extinction event that occurred approximately 251.9 million years ago is considered Earth's most severe known extinction event. 57% of biological families, 83% of genera, 81% of marine species, and 70% of terrestrial vertebrate species became extinct. Rudy Kuryawan sold an estimated $150 million worth of fraudulent wine between 2002 and 2012, which he produced himself in his California home. His scheme started to unravel when the wine producer Domaine Ponsat caught him selling Ponsat wines that were never made. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Isaac Newton was born on Christmas Day, December 25th, in England in 1642. However, a baby born on the same day in France would have had a January 4th birthday because there were two competing calendars at the time. The Wärtsilä RT Flex 96C is the largest reciprocating engine in the world. It's a diesel engine for container ships up to 14 cylinders, over 107,000 horsepower, 5.6 million pound-foot of torque, uses 250 tons of fuel per day, and more. James Madison wrote Washington's first inaugural address. Then he wrote Congress's response to that address, and then he wrote Washington's reply to the response. 1,087 sailors from Bari, southern Italy, stole the body of St. Nicholas from Myra, modern-day Turkey. Despite fears of the locals, newly converted Muslims who still worship the saint, and St. Nicholas himself, they brought it home and still celebrate the theft each year on December 6th. Rowan Atkinson's role in Love Actually was originally meant to be an angel, which explains his knowingly hopeful appearances. A 2017 survey of 1,000 Americans regarding bacon found that 21% of them said if they had a choice, they would eat it every day for the rest of their lives, and 16% said that they couldn't live without it. Only 4% said that they didn't like bacon. Those people are psychopaths. The film Santa Claus Conquers the Martians had the first documented motion picture role of Mrs. Claus, preceding Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by 3 weeks. Room 641A was a secret room in San Francisco in an AT&T building that held secret equipment used to spy on citizens for the NSA. Carole King wrote the song You've Got a Friend in response to James Taylor's Fire and Rain, specifically the line, I've seen lonely times where I could not find a friend. The first ever public text message in history is Merry Christmas. Humans were thought to be the only host species susceptible to leprosy until cases were identified in 9 banded armadillos, and now Eurasian red squirrels in the UK have been added to the reservoir. 200,000 new human cases of leprosy a year are still recorded, but the exact mechanism is unknown. The 1964 Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer TV special is in a gray area of copyright due to the fact that the studio mistakenly spelled out the copyright date as 1164 in Roman numerals and haven't corrected it since. In 2021, scientists discovered Eumillipes Persephone, a millipede with as many as 1,306 legs found deep underground in the Australian outback. That makes this species the animal with the most legs on Earth and the first millipede discovered to have 1,000 legs or more. In 1926, Nikola Tesla predicted modern cell phones. Tesla described a future when wireless is perfectly applied to the whole Earth in a way that allows humans to communicate with one another instantly, irrespective of distance, with the clarity of face-to-face meetings using a device. The Michelin Man is named Bibendum, or Bib for short. He even has a category of value for money restaurants in Michelin's guidebooks, the Bib Gourmand, named after him. The PNG format was developed because the GIF compression algorithm, LZW, was patented by Unisys, which required a usage fee. The patent expired in 2003 in the USA and in 2004 in Europe. Christine Jorgensen, a former World War II GI, became the first American widely known to undergo gender-affirming surgery in the 1950s, later becoming the public figure and advocate for it. There were different variations of The Simpsons opening theme because starting with season 2, they made 3 versions: the full 1 minute 15-second long version and a 45-second and 25-second version. This gave editors a little extra flexibility to pad shorter episodes and add as much footage as possible. Cockroach farming exists in China as a growing industry with millions of insects raised for food, animal feed, and pharmaceuticals. The Nebra Sky Disk, a 3,600-year-old bronze artifact discovered in Germany, is the world's oldest known physical depiction of the cosmos, with gold symbols for the sun, moon, and stars, including the Pleiades. The disk encodes accurate, useful celestial observation in a portable object. The call of the common loon, a bird native to northeastern USA and Canada, has become a staple sound effect in global pop and EDM music. It's often used to evoke a sense of wilderness. During World War II, finding men to find the role of Santa Claus became increasingly difficult. Some stores selected women with deep voices to play the part, one of whom was quite successful until customers started complaining about Santa's visits to the ladies' restroom. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of 50 Amazing Facts. Feel free to leave a like on this video and subscribe because there's more coming soon. Thanks for watching.